Hey, it's the next day. And I'm still working on that doll. So right now, guys, I'm not going to paint her entire face. But I just wanted to pop in to give a tip on before I actually start working on it. And this is how I line up the face to for her features. Now, some people are like precision kind of people, and I told y'all before, I don't care about things being exactly lined up the way they're supposed to be. Like that. Well, first of all, there is no way that they're supposed to be because nobody is symmetrical. Everyone's face is just a little bit different. Like this eye right here, this eye right here is a little bit lower than this one. I can look at myself and see that. Um, Nobody's face is exactly the same. Your ears is a little bit off. Like your arms, one shoulder might be one way, one boob might be up a little bit higher than the others. I know mine is. So perfect doesn't matter. I just go for what makes sense. So across the front of the face in general, it measures out from one end of the eye to the end of the other eye is a 3 count. So there's 3 spaces in between. So and then usually, you look at the sides, like the edges at the seam, and that's where the imaginary ears would be. The imaginary ears, because like I said, the dolls don't need ears. Okay, they can't hear. Um, so I usually like trace and go in just a little bit. Cause see, I like big eyes. I'm more of a like whimsical character kind of person. Like I don't really do too much of it looks exactly like the person, kind of thing. Like I like, somewhat of caricatures. And normally I would do it with yeah, yeah, trying to follow the camera. Okay. Because y'all know I'm on my laptop. Normally I would use these pens, and I did start off with these type of pens, and then I realized that I'm trying to show you guys how to do it, and you might not be able to see what I'm doing with this pen. So I'm going to switch over to the quilter pens with the I just gotta figure out exactly where to line up with the yeah. I gotta switch over to the quilter pens with the balls on top, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I go from the edge here and I just go in a little bit. I guess that's about a half an inch. And it's somewhere, round about where you would think your eyes would fall at on your head. And that's about a half an inch. Let me make it in just a little bit more. And I start off there. And then with my next pin, I go to the opposite side and I, just try to line it up. Like I said, I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like if you are one of those people who needs perfection, then you measure it. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure it makes sense. Okay? So this is where the corners of my eyes are going to be because I like whimsical eyes. I think these are a little bit too far. So I'm going to go in just a little bit more. I'm going to go in just a little bit more and make that space just a little bit more. And you know what? Once again, I should probably have my glasses on. Because, I'm, thinking, I don't really see. Okay. I have my glasses on. Unfortunately, this means you will see the ring in my eyes occasionally. But, what am I going to do? So now I can see, and you can see. So I went in a little bit, and I went in a little bit. And then I'm looking at it, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to come to, the center. So I want to put a pin in roundabout where I think the center is between those 2 pins. And then I'm going to, just trace my finger across it to make sure it's lined up. And if it's not, then sometimes it's a play with me kind of thing. And I just kind of lower it a little or raise it up a little. That's up a little high. So let's go down a little bit. So that's more along the lines of across. So now, like I said, it's 3 across. So now I just need to place the pins here and here so that there will be 3 sections across that are round about the same size. Let me move this over a little bit. Like I said, it's a trial and error thing, and a lot of times I do move the pin over, up and down, just to make sure it's lined up the way I want it to be. So if her eyes are about right here, let's say, and then I take another pin and I go to the opposite side. And then I look to see, does it look like it's 3 exact sides? Or do my pins line up the way I want? I may lower it. I may bring it up a little. Honestly, I think I did a pretty good job with 3 spaces across. And then I'm going to look at her face and I'm going to think, if this is the corner of her eye, the nose is usually halfway between that and the chin down. Maybe not quite so much. I mean, but like I said, this is a whimsical face. This isn't like perfect precision. So I'm going to take the pin and I'm going to go from my center line, and then I'm going to place another pin a little bit less than halfway down. So I didn't go exactly to halfway down because, well, maybe I'll make it go down. Because I like to give like nice juicy lips. So I need to make sure I have plenty of room to do her lips. So about right there from that middle point. You see what I'm doing? And then I take the pin again and I go halfway between the nose and the chin this time, guys. And I place a pin. And this is how I mark off the face. And then once I have that lined up, then I actually go in with the pencil and I draw in the face. And I do it with a pencil because, like, a pencil is easy to cover up with shading and things like that. And then I work with a lot of black lines anyway. And I really don't know that you're actually going to be able to see this though, but I'm gonna try to make it dark enough so that you can see it. And then you can use the pins as guides for everything. Like, if you could even, like, I don't do it. I eyeball the rest of it, but like, I don't know, can you see the eyes? You may not really be able to see the eyes on the camera. But, oh, yeah, you can see that one. You see how I just drew it in between? And then I did the same thing on this side, in between. And then right about where the nose is, and I got that little mark where the nose is, I'm going to do a U where the nose is, and that's how I know where the nose is. And then I decide how wide. Okay, let's see if I can get in there close. Can you can see the nose a little? And then I decide how wide I want it. And usually I try to come out with how wide it is. I usually try to come out at least to the corner or close to the corner of her eyes, where the corner mark is, because that's just, I mean, black girls, and black girls have wide noses that come out to the corner of their eyes and sometimes past that. Like, that's just what we look like. And so, I don't know, can you see it? Maybe you can't see it. You know what? If I go over it with a pen, I don't mind going over it with a black pen. And then I decide what I want her lips to look like. And I create the lips at that mark where I gave myself for the lips. And I want her to have a combination of pouty and juicy and wide lips. Like, let's see how I can make that happen. By giving her plenty of bottom lip. Like, almost to her entire chin bottom lip. Then I could give my girl some really, really juicy lips. Now, I did this with the pencil. You can see it faintly. That's gray. I'm going to try to take a black pen and go over it just so that you can see it. You can really see it better. Oh yeah, you can see it better with the black pen. So let me go over it with the black pen. And it's okay because I'm not trying to get rid of the lines or anything, because paint is actually going to cover up the lines. Like I said before, paint is going to actually end up covering the lines. And if not paint, then, you know, a lot of times I'll go in with black to do more emphasis on the features anyway. So when I go in with the black to do more emphasis on the features, it'll just cover up my drawing lines. So I'm just going it over with black really quick so that you could see it better, what I did. Okay. Can you see that better? It's not really that much better. But I drew in the face based, just so you know, I drew in the face based upon this. Like, this is the beginnings, guys. It's going to get better, I promise you. And I will go over this again. As a matter of fact, I will go over this method again, and I'll do a full tutorial on the entire face, and then you can see this method again. I do have a Facebook video of me doing this method where you might be able to see it a little bit better. I'm not sure, but somewhere's on my Facebook page if you're following me. But because that was, yeah. So this is, I have the face lined up. I drew in the features. Yeah, they really are kind of hard to see. You can see them. And then what I would do is I take the pins out and then I paint. And the next time you see this one right here, she will have a fully painted face.